1, 2, 3, 4. Talking about Silent Hill. Only the old ones, cause the new ones suck balls. Ooh, it's getting spooky in here today. That's right. Corzeons' first ever video game discussion. And today we'll be talking about one of my favorite series ever, Silent Hill. Titles it. I'm not pretending to say anything new about the Silent Hill series that hasn't been said a million times on the internet already. But, as one of my favorites, I just really like it, I want to talk about it. And anyway, this is me! Look at me! It's me! It's Corzeons! I'm saying it! We'll be talking about Silent Hills 1, 2, 3, 4, and PT. I'll briefly mention the others and the movies, but they, you know how they are. At first I wanted to do this in all one big episode, but then I realized it'd be way too effing long, so I've split them by game. So we'll do little mini episodes between the main releases coming up. So this one will be about Silent Hill 1, and then we're not necessarily going to go in order of release, so stay tuned. Now, a little editor's note. I replayed every game you're about to see. However, the clips you will see are not my playthroughs. I got the clips from playthrough sessions on Survival Horror Network and PB Horror Gaming. So please see their links in the description for the playthroughs and their channels, and I hope they're not too mad at me because in that case I'll just have to replace the clips with some kind of funny footage. Let's not give them any ideas though. So let's dive right in! Silent Hill 1! Woo-hoo! In 1999, Konami decided to cash in on the popularity of the master of unlocking herself, the Resident Evil franchise. Silent Hill came out and it was immediately awesome and different than Resident Evil. The original just instantly set itself apart. Now, I replayed this on my big fat old PlayStation 3 that was still PlayStation 1 compatible. Oh, the intro video. So immediately awesome and different than the zombie horror vibe of Resident Evil. The music is just incredible, and I said to myself as the video played, "Get ready to wet yourself, girl." Our main man, Harry, is traveling with his daughter to Silent Hill. He crashes his Jeep and wakes up to find her missing. So he goes out to look for her, and things go to hell pretty quickly.
Cheryl? Is that Cheryl?
The idea of the worlds changing between normal and darkness and hellish horror thing was such a neat idea back then. It still seemed pretty new.
What is this? What's going on here?
In the Hellland, Henry gets attacked by monster children and he wakes up in a diner with Spunky Pop Cop Sybil. And we get to see their radio. Woo! The iconic radio, which makes noise whenever monsters are here.
What's that?
I believe the radio and flashlight actually make monsters more aware of your presence throughout the series, so that's pretty cool too. To save the game with a notepad, it's funny. Bizarre events! The monsters are cool in number 1 because they all seem to represent something a child might be scared of, like a big scary dog, authority figures and nurses and doctors. Even other kids, like with the little ghost kids. The monsters in the first few games seem to follow a theme that associated with the main characters. In the first one, the monsters actually seem to pursue you. The other ones you can generally run past, but in this one, they are up your butt. Look at this bird thing chasing Harry. Thank goodness the monsters can't follow you between rooms. If they ever continue the series, adding that mechanic would be pretty cool, because the modern Resident Evils have that to a degree, and it's pretty neat. I love the little touches, how Harry looks left and right when you turn him, how he can run into doors and he'll go or fall off porches. The little ghost kids running around the school always freak me out. Now that all you hear is a little squeak, and then if you look just right, you can see their shadow walking around. Playing this as an adult, I was able to actually do it. Back in the day, I would have to turn the game off because I was so scared. Or I would just constantly open the map for everyone in the series, and that would help me not cry.
Look how long and wide the streets are in Silent Hill. Every street is like an 8-line highway.
The puzzles in Silent Hill are always kind of obtuse, but not crazy. So they can be a little difficult, especially this effing piano puzzle, which unless you play piano, you probably won't know what the hell it's talking about. And this came out before the internets was common. I'm actually practicing piano lessons, and even knowing some of these things, it was still really hard for me. And then I realized you had to press the keys that didn't make noise. So I wrote down what I thought it was, and I was still wrong, but I was at least close. The siren and the world fading are so cool. Ooh, is that the seal of the sun? Which one was the bad one? I don't know, one of them was Metatron. So then you go to the church and meet Dahlia Gillespie.
Bell?
I've been expecting you. It was foretold by gyromancy.
She is quite the nutter
What are you
butter,
talking
but she
about?
gives Harry a very cool
You can
triangle.
break through the walls of darkness and counteract the wrath of the underworld.
There's also a drug-dealing cult angle that's mentioned in the police, and you find drugs later. Sybil the cop later says that the locals sell the drug to the tourists. I wonder if it's the cult's way of keeping them staying out, or keeping them under their control, or whatever.
What is this? What is this? What is this?
Ah, Dr. Kaufman. He's awesome. What a dick. He immediately tries to shoot Harry, and then he pieces out.
Well,
So now you're in the hospital levels, and you see some nurses that just want to be friends. Nurse Lisa Garland is such a great character. She's nice, she calms you down, she doesn't know what's going on either. Her story is very tragic, and she's very helpful, and seems normal. She's the nurse in the video that you find that had to take care of Alessa after she was burned alive to try to birth their god from the cult. What? On this time in the game that Harry starts to drift in and out of worlds, and he starts to think he's going crazy. He questions his reality and begins to wonder if this is all in his head. But Lisa, Dahlia, and Sybil are there to give him some helpful gap-filling information.
The town is being devoured by darkness. It's nuts.
I hear sirens in the distance. It's like I was there, but not really.
You go back to the hospital and you talk to Lisa, and she seems to be having a hard time, but she also feels she can't leave.
Somehow I feel I'm not supposed to leave this place.
Then you fight the Moth, and after you defeat it, daytime returns! After the sewer area, which is a big nothing burger, you reach the resort area of Silent Hill. And I kind of forgot about this place. It's neat that you can go around the entire place and then choose to do certain activities which will ultimately affect the ending. And there are I think there are 4 endings, maybe even a special UFO or dog ending, something silly. But the things you do here will directly impact your ending that you receive.
Give me that.
What is this?
You shouldn't be hanging around here goofing off.
This area was a neat change of pace, but I did get stuck stupidly trying to find a stupid drawer to open the stupid lock so that I could see the stupid drugs. Because of how crappy it looked way back when, I just was clicking X on everything to try to interact, but I couldn't find the stupid drawer. No doubt, something terrible is going on. Thanks, Harry. The rain, ash, snowish effects in this game are really good, especially on PS1. I mean, the lighting and the shadows, it all looks awesome. Harry meets up with Sybil in the houseboat, and he's pretty inquisitive. He exposits to her real good. I always love the shot of the spiral staircase in the lighthouse going up. Surprisingly, given how old the game is, it does some quality of life things too. Like when you have to go to a different part of town or a different area that's really far away, the game will just kind of take you there. It doesn't make you traverse the whole town. On to the amusement park. Spooky. And you have to fight Sybil. She seems to be possessed somehow. I remember as a kid, my brother and I just killed Sybil because we didn't really know what else to do about it. But if you want to get the good ending, or good plus ending, you have to save her. So Harry just throws the Aglophilus onto her, and she poops out the parasite immediately.
biological
So she's saved,
daughter.
and they have a nice little scene together,
Might
and
be some
Harry
connection
reveals that
between
Cheryl
Cheryl
is
and this
adopted. But then Alessa shows up with some wacky powers.
Cheryl go.
Turns out
That's
Alessa's
all I
been
ask.
behind the whole thing with her trapped soul, nightmare, revenge thing going on. Harry's magical triangle, the Flaro, seems to hurt her. Dahlia shows up and reveals that Alessa is her daughter.
This is the end of your little game.
He plans to give birth to God again. So they disappear into Magic Land, and Harry wakes up in what looks to be the hospital, but is actually nowhere. This part is awesome. You kind of just go through a world that seems to be manifesting on its own. You enter a doorway, and it'll be a whole new area.
I can't take this.
Lisa's having a bad day. This is the hospital where Alessa lay comatose and learn that they plan to draw Cheryl back to Silent Hill in order to complete their ritual.
That will take time.
One of my favorite parts of the game. Lisa realizes that she's dead and sort of a monster in Alessa's daydream. Really sad that she got caught up in Alessa's nightmare. She was just a nurse trying to do her job with a very weird task. Her monsterification is really sad and something I'd really never seen before. It's just a great video. So in the end, Kaufman forces God out of Alessa with his aglaphophobtitis. So God kills an injured Dahlia, and then Harry's got to deal with it. Once he does so, Alessa returns and has a baby and she's giving it to Harry to take home. And as he tries to escape, our favorite resident Dr. Kaufman is mauled by Lisa. They make their escape, and Alessa saves them one last time before collapsing into death. That baby will grow up to become Heather from Silent Hill 3. The blooper reel credits are really goofy and weird. And that's all we have to say about Silent Hill 1. Now remember, subscribe and you get some good shots, girl. And as always, leave your comments and your loving compliments in the comments below. Here's the social media up there, right? It's up there. And I want to thank you for joining me. Next time, we'll be talking about Silent Hill 3.